Hello, everybody. Welcome to Over a Couple Drinks presents The Top Shelf. I am your host, Bill Henning, and with me tonight is LB.
Hi, I'm drinking alone at Bill's bar.
What? You're drinking alone?
Oh, never mind. I'm joking.
Speaking of which, what are you drinking?
I am drinking once again my special drink in a princess cup. I got multiple princesses on this cup. Look at them all. Yes, it is Nesquik with pumpkin spice Kahlua.
I'm drinking out of an abnormally large Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle glass.
It's cute when Bill uses big words you can't pronounce.
It's also very heavy on the booze. It's gin and Dr. Pepper again. We don't know where Birch is. He's MIA tonight, so we're doing it without him. NPD. And my cat is downstairs because he's afraid of the fireworks. Meh. LB, why don't you break down what we're talking about tonight as I switch over the calendar away from Plo Koon?
Oh, you forgot it was a new month,
Sure
didn't
did.
you? Well, I want to see this first. Look at this. Who's next? Who's July?
Who do you think July is? Take a bet. I'll narrow it down. Old trilogy.
I'm going to go with Yoda.
Wrong.
That was my second guess. But I was expecting a little less clothing.
Oh. Isn't your fiance sitting on the couch next to you?
Yes, you don't care. I was expecting gold bikini. So, but...
What are we talking about tonight?
Tonight, let's
What's
see.
on tap?
We got a lot of news out of the Marvel Universe, as usual. From the cinematic universe, pretty big announcement, to the comic books, to the Daredevil TV show.
Mm-hmm.
We've also got some news about some upcoming movies like Ghostbusters and Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. And we have, speaking of Batman, something about Arkham Knight and its failure to get out of the Batcave. And South Park and Ron Perlman.
Yeah. So
That's two separate topics.
Yeah. Actually, if Ron Perlman was on South Park, man, I'd watch the shit out of that show even more. So let's hold off on the Marvel comic verse since that's the most. We're gonna hold off on that to last. Where would you like to start? Would you like to talk about Spider-Man's casting in the cinematic universe?
Let's get ready to do it. That's kind of the big news of the last
2 weeks.
while. Yeah. Shh. Let's not date ourselves.
No, we put this up right away, and we missed last week. It's NBD.
Yeah. Tom Holland is now Peter Parker in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, according to
that is.
casting announcements. I have not seen a single thing he's in, but I looked him up, and the first thing I thought was, man, he looks like a nerd. And that made me very happy. Because Peter Parker should look like a nerd.
He should.
If they're going for the young Peter Parker. That's exactly what he should be. So I haven't seen the guy act, don't know what he's in, but I'm happy with the casting announcement.
Tom, what is his name? Tom
Holland.
I don't know anything about this guy at all.
Me neither.
But like the first thing he did after it was released was put out a bunch of like videos on Vine or Twitter or something of him doing backflips at his home. I thought that was really smart of him, you know?
It's pretty cool.
Like he like clearly he's been training for a bit for it. Yeah, I've never seen any of these films that he's in. Huh.
No, I can't even name a movie he's been in.
He was in
He's a stage actor too. He's pretty big on stage, I guess.
Well, I hope he does good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a little sad that Ender didn't get it because I liked how, you know, goofy and gumpy that kid looked for nerd-wise. But I'm willing to give this kid a shot. Why the hell not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thumbs up from the two biggest Spider-Man nerds you'll never know. That's us. We're huge Spider-Man nerds.
Don't tell Krause you said that.
Krause ain't got shit on us.
I'd like to hear his opinion on the casting though, but he's going, oh, he doesn't have enough muscles. I'm like, Chris Krause.
Shut up.
Shut up.
All right, where do you want to go next?
No, it's your turn.
My turn? We're gonna do a little quick one. Daredevil Season 2, the showrunners are calling it Daredevil versus Punisher, which I think is rather unique and kind of gives you the tone of what Season 2 is going to be. And I like the idea of Punisher kind of being this quasi-villain throughout. Do you have any thoughts on it?
I think it's I mean, generally whenever Punisher, at least in my memory, when Punisher's introduced in another character's storyline, he's the bad guy.
Yeah, he's trying to kill
You
him.
know, even though in his own storyline, obviously he's the good guy.
Well,
So,
you look at it too as, if you go for the core of what the Punisher goes for, and where we left off with Daredevil not really getting his name cleared for like the quote unquote murders that he did,
right?
it makes sense for Punisher to start hunting him.
Yep.
And the guy who's playing him, Shane from The Walking Dead, I don't know his real name, does a really good job at playing the asshole. So it's gonna be great.
And I think I don't know. It'll be interesting. I was wondering where they would go with the next season after how the first one ended. So it'd be really nice to I think it's a good direction for the series.
And the thing that we didn't add in here was Kevin Feige. Is that the guy who runs it?
I don't know.
The guy who runs Marvel U movies had a big thing where he announced Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is going to be called Volume 2, whatever. And then he said that they're looking for a director and writer for Ragnarok, and I almost said Ragnaros, World of Warcraft. And then he said something along the lines that he likes everything the shows are doing and sees them as tools in a toolbox to be used for the movies, which is a good, positive look on everything. And I really hope
I like that.
they tie the Defenders into the movies to make them more defined. Is
Mm-hmm.
that too many D words?
No.
Okay.
Because I think I like what the Marvel movies were doing in the beginning, where they were introducing these new characters and stuff with the idea of they're going to be in the Avengers movie. And I like now that they're more or less just saying, okay, now we're going to let these other characters, be their own thing, and we'll use them as we see fit. But if we don't,
It's no big deal,
we're not gonna pigeonhole. Is that the right word?
I'm gonna go with yes.
Yeah, they're not gonna pigeonhole them in and force them into something that they don't belong in. So they're gonna.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like it, and I like the approach they're taking on it, and they're not ignoring them per se.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all about that. Like I said, we're gonna save the new Marvel Universe to last because there's a lot to cover. LB, what do you want to get next?
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. Do you want to start, or shall I?
Go ahead.
The director tweeted out 2 pictures of what the costumes will look like.
This is for the all-female cast.
Yep.
Version.
This is hot off the heels of the set pictures that were leaked by paparazzi, possibly, or they were, leaked from like the crew. And it's just, one of those standard, here's 4 jumpsuits with the names of the actors on it bullshit kind of thing. And then he released what the Proton Pack looks like, which looks smaller, but still in the same design, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go in hating this movie just because I hate reboots. I really do. And I do hope it's good, because there looks like there's enough care in it. But the whole idea seems forced, and I don't think we need a reboot, personally.
I don't know. I was happier when I thought it was going to be a sequel with an all-female cast.
I thought that would be fantastic.
And if it still ends up being that, I'm all for it. I don't know. But I don't know. There's no need for a reboot. But I like what I saw. I mean, it looks like same idea they have with the new Star Wars, where they're going with the same aesthetic look. It seems, they're not trying to create something new and different. It's going, this is new but familiar.
Yeah. And then another thing I read, again, this is how my brain works. I don't write it down for you guys, so I'm sorry. But Zemeckis came out with something about how he thinks a Back to the Future reboot would work, and it has to be the best quote ever. He says, "When I'm dead."
Mm-hmm.
Over my dead body kind of thing. It's like, why would you remake it? It's perfect as is. It'd be like somebody coming and saying, let's remake Citizen Kane. Who are we gonna get to play Kane? I don't know. So I like that approach.
Yeah, Back to the Future needs no reboot, no remake.
Well, especially when you look at 2 and 3 and you realize 2 and 3 beautifully hit the same exact marks that 1 hits at the same exact time as
Mm-hmm.
all of them at once in a way that they are reboots of themselves as well as being sequels. Honestly, it's annoying to watch back to back to back, but they are kind of masterpieces in their own right for doing that. It's a good way to look at, like, time is a loop kind of thing.
I think watching them back to back to back is the best way to watch.
It was rough when we did that in theaters, and
Yeah.
it was just hearing the same jokes over and over again. Oof. Oof. It was not good. So, yeah, no, I forgot to add that to it, but, yeah. We might as well stay on this train of movies.
Choo choo.
And, Batman vs. Superman, Entertainment Pictures. Entertainment Weekly Pictures, because they have a cover coming out.
Yes. Let me go look at these again.
Yeah, I think I
It's
haven't pulled them up.
so the one picture is Superman as Jesus, where there's a whole crowd of people. A lot of them in the skull mask paint, which is interesting.
Must
They're
be
all like reaching out,
Dios
putting their
de
hands on them.
Muertos, possibly?
What's that?
Dios de Muertes? Dios de
Uh,
Muertes? My Spanish is off.
Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah, the Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead. Is that what's going on?
It might look like that.
So maybe he's in southern United States or Mexico.
Possibly.
I can see that. Okay, that would
Yeah.
explain the. I suppose the one in the very back right looks like Edward Scissorhands.
Yes. Yes. I don't really see the
If you
Jesus
haven't seen
look.
this picture, you need to look it up. It's
Yeah.
funny.
It looks like Edward Scissorhands and oh god, who plays the Star Child from Kiss? He had a baby together because that's what his makeup looks like.
Gene Simmons is
No, Simmons is the
is-
demon.
Oh,
My friend who loves Kiss is gonna murder me. Never mind.
okay.
Moving on.
You got Jesse Eisenberg
Yeah,
as Lex Luthor with flowing locks, which
looks like a terrible wig.
which of course makes sense. I mean,
It's
that's
very reminiscent of Gene Hackman and
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Not Spider-Man. Yeah, Spider-Man, Superman. Try again, Bill. The booze are getting to you.
in the Christopher Reeve Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I don't
wearing
hate
the
it.
wig.
I don't know how to feel about it yet because I don't know how he's going to portray Lex Luthor per se.
It'd be interesting to find. I mean, obviously he's a younger Lex Luthor than what we're used to.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we have these two pictures of Wonder Woman, which are very different.
Yeah.
The one of her as Wonder Woman on the cover of Entertainment, she looks like what I said. She looks like a Kardashian.
But honestly, it's perfect to me.
Right. I think she looks good as Wonder Woman. She
Yeah.
seems to have bulked up a little since the pictures I saw of her before she was cast.
And it's not like what Affleck is, and it's not even what Cavill is. It's this nice slim bulk. Like
Mhm.
I reserve for like a Spider-Man build where it's lengthy. I like it personally for a Wonder Woman, especially if she's gonna like beat the shit out of Superman. I would love to see that too. Because
And she has a sword, I just noticed. Is that a sword?
a sword and a lasso, and she doesn't have her shield with her, but I think they talked about a shield.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the other picture of her is she's with Bruce Wayne at what looks like, I'm assuming, Wayne Manor or something. They're all dressed up and fancy like.
She looks like somebody totally different.
And yes, she looks like an entirely different person. You're right.
Yeah, I actually thought it was somebody totally different until like they said this is her, which I'm not going to pronounce her name because I'll butcher it.
Mm.
And then we have. Do you have the picture of Batman in armor next to the bat signal?
Yeah, haven't we seen that before? Is that new?
I don't know. I don't know. It's weird because like him in the armor looks fine and looks straight out of the pages of Dark Knight Returns, but then like the cover again, they have this problem of like. There's no depth to his neck, so it looks like just one solid piece to his neck, and it looks like he has no neck, and it's really weird because it's like shadowing because there's a jaw there, because you look at all the other pictures and it really throws me off, and I want to shoot whoever is like putting out these pictures, just put something there so we can see his jawline.
I mean, comparing him to the Ben Affleck, it just looks like in the costume he's bulked up for some reason, like the
Yeah.
Michelin Man. I don't know what's going on there.
But like all the pictures, he doesn't look like that bulky. You know?
Like he has thick armor on, I guess.
Which, I could get behind the idea that there's layers of armor in his suit. Yeah. So that's pretty uneventful. What do you want to talk about next?
Oh, I skipped over this because I didn't really care. I'll let you talk about it. Reddit, go.
Oh, I touched this thing. I touched the thing. As of today, July 2nd, a bunch of subreddits went down and went to private mode. And a Reddit user who I think was an admin, I don't remember, Victoria Taylor, her username was Cooter, Chooter, was let go. And yeah, it's a shit show, which is weird for Reddit being the go-to news source for most internet things, as well as random shit. But like today, I was trying to surf our movies, and it was down on my phone, and I thought my internet was messing up, so I reset my router. No, it's like Ask Reddit, books, science, music, gaming, history, art, videos, gadgets. Today, I learned documentaries, life pro tips, movies. Ask Anything, 4chan. There's just a huge list of things that went to private. I think it's up to... I'm still scrolling. Holy shit, a lot of things went off. Ask Me Anything went offline, and this is like hot off the heels off of that 50 Shades of Grey author getting just shit on. But that's the internet. That's what happens. Ask Reddit went down. Borderlands 2 went down. Burgers went down. Creatures of Earth. Destiny. There's some... What are these Reddits? The Fallout one went down? Okay. I didn't know. It just... I think a lot of them going off into private mode is their way of protesting about this. Because...
Like the Reddit...
moderators and people who are in charge are rebelling against the admins of Reddit.
Okay, because one person was fired or let go or whatever.
Yeah, and there's some things in there that she felt that for a long time other subreddits and hosts of Ask Me Anythings have been kind of abused by the admins, and like people putting thousands of hours in and going neglected kind of thing, and that might have done something, but it's all pretty new, and I'll put a link to the Reddit The Loop that has it on here that my friend posted to me, and you guys can read it over. Tell us what you think. So, I'll be sure to add that to our description. So, yeah. I don't know what's going on. But Reddit is slowly going down. It's like people are rebelling. We're having our own personal internet rebellion. Hooray!
Reddit Spring 2015.
I don't know. Let's talk about South Park, yeah?
Alright, what's this thing, Bill?
Jonesy, why are you biting me?
Oh, Bill.
What? Oh, Matt and Trey had an interview where they're talking about how long this is going to last, like how long South Park will be on. And they've said that it'd always be like one bad review when they said, fuck it, we're done. But now they're in pretty chipper moods and say, until we get canceled. So, expect many more years of South Park.
I mean, they must enjoy doing it because obviously they don't need the money.
No.
And I haven't watched South Park in years.
Yeah, but there's always something that brings me back to it. One great episode, So as long as they keep putting out those must-see episodes, I think, why the hell not? And we didn't cover it in our E3 one, but they did announce the South Park game, another one, the sequel to Stick of Truth. So, I'm for it. Stick of Truth was awesome. What are you going to talk about next, LB?
Of course, I want to talk about Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman released a picture on Twitter. I think it was an unused picture from Hellboy 2, where it's Hellboy wearing sunglasses, holding the Good Samaritan, and he said, and all the post said was, waiting, lurking, and just add another Roman numeral to the end of that, and we're all set to go. And recently, Perlman has just been pushing the idea of Hellboy 3. Thoughts?
I mean, the idea of obviously an actor wanting to do the next film and pushing for it is a big deal to me because sometimes that's the problem where they can't get a movie made is the main lead actor won't do another one. So obviously if they have, I mean, I don't know how successful the first two films were.
The second one The first one was successful enough to get a second one. That's to say enough. The
Mhm.
second one doubled its money, and it opened the same day as The Dark Knight.
Mm.
So for it to double its money, I think is a kind of a huge success in that area of time with the movies.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I really liked the two movies. Obviously,
Mhm.
the second one went a little off the deep end compared to the first one, I think.
I
But
loved it.
I loved it. It was just, it wasn't. I guess it wasn't really based on the comics at all. Is that correct?
I mean, neither was the first one to a degree either. It was nice for what they did, and they brought in
Mhm.
the whole fantasy element. And most people weren't ready to go to the fantasy side of Hellboy, but I was, and I liked how, at the end of the day, the villain was justified to a point where Hellboy felt bad for killing him. It was just,
Mhm.
and technically Hellboy didn't even kill him, but it was just this great thing where at the end of the movie you go, I'm rooting for Hellboy, but I don't want this guy to die because he's right. And I'd love to see a Hellboy 3. I'm a huge Hellboy fan. Huge. So...
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how Garamel feels about it, but
He wants to do it, but he tried to shop around for it once, and nobody wanted to pick it up, so he started doing other things, and he's always wanted to do it. I think Perlman's pushing for a fan hype, so the studios go, yeah, people will go see this.
every other movie project Garamel gets put on it fails for some reason. Like,
I
I don't know if it's his doing or not, but
am worried that he's becoming the guy who said he's going to do a bunch of stuff and then not do it.
mhm.
We fell into that a few times in college with starting a bunch of projects and never finishing them, and
Yeah.
I just don't want that to be his legacy. You know. The last thing we're going to talk about before jumping into Marvel New You is the Arkham Knight failure on PC. Which, if you played on PS4 or Xbox One, congratulations, you can be mediocre with your 30 frames per second bullshit. But it was broken on launch. I don't know if you've heard anything about this.
No.
It wouldn't run at 30. It would barely run at 30 frames per second. Graphics were downgraded. There was no rain effect, and when you got in the Batmobile, it would stutter. Like frame rates would drop to like below 15 frames per second, kind of thing. And
So
there were bugs galore. And I'll go ahead and ask questions now because there's more to this. It gets bad.
I mean, what exactly happened?
It was ported to the PC from the same people who ported Arkham Origins, which was also broken. And this was at a time where, when Arkham Origins came out, WB had a little bit more leeway, and they said they weren't going to patch it until they were done with the DLC, which is a bullshit answer. But now it was taken down as of a few days ago, I think, from Steam, that you couldn't buy it. I think a patch rolled out recently, and yeah, it was utterly broken. There was all this controversy about like somebody from NVIDIA who sponsors the game and who's a graphics card was streaming it at 60 frames per second, and it looked smooth and great and all that stuff. But someone noticed that you could hear sped up voices in the background and realized that they recorded it off of like a PS4 at 30 frames per second and then sped it up. So the voices were chipmunks, so they called it Chipmunk Gate because we're the internet. We're fucking stupid at naming things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was it's a shit show. Look at like if you want more information on it, like look up at these fanatics like the Jimquisition. Jim Sterling loves Batman, and he just shits all over it. Total Biscuit, who is a huge... I mean, why am I telling you this? This is Total Biscuit. Fuck you. If you don't know who Total Biscuit is, get off YouTube. Total Biscuit has a video of it, and he tears it a new one. And you look up any streamer, any video, there's bugs galore in it. And it just goes to show that this idea of poor ports to any console or PC is probably going to... this is almost to a degree worse than what Assassin's Creed Unity was, with like the melting face and all that stuff. But like this is gonna like really hinder the whole idea of we'll patch it once it's out, or we'll get some shitty company to port it over. This is a huge shot in the arm for the gaming industry, honestly.
Yeah, I mean you can't put a product on the market that's clearly broken like that. I mean,
This is also like, you know, the whole cynical side of pre-order our games and it's broken when it comes out. Why should we pre-order, you know? I think the video game industry is going to get a huge wake-up call pretty soon here, especially with how many people made the jump from new consoles to PC that I feel like recently. Not many people, I mean, I could be wrong, I don't have numbers in front of me, but I feel like generally my circles of influences and internet and looking, most people have been like, fuck Xbox One, PS4, I'll just get a computer. Because it's coming back into that swing again, you know? Where PCs are a little bit more affordable for people to do stuff with.
Mm-hmm.
So, the short-handed, you know, shaft of PC getting ported with shitty versions is probably going to be a huge blow and death to the video game industry. That's damn fine booze. So let's jump into the Marvel U. 45 covers were leaked about what's going on.
Like the next lineup of Marvel comic books, I guess.
Mm-hmm. This is after Secret Wars is done. Well, it's going to start before Secret Wars is done. But this is the new universe where it's all... There's no more 616. There's no more Ultimate. It's all this one, but also there's multiple dimensions still. Because Spider-Gwen still has her own storyline in her own universe. So, I don't know. But we're just going to go through and talk about some hot topics. Hot topics. Anyone you want to start with?
What I'm noticing from all these leak covers, if you haven't found them, go look them up. They're pretty easy to find because they're all over. There's a lot of Spider-Man.
Yeah, the one thing I was really worried about when they said they were going to, you know, consolidate the universes was what was going to happen to Peter Parker, since we just got him back from Superior Spider-Man Otto Octavius. What was going to happen to Miles Morales, because he's great. And what was going to happen to Spider-Gwen, because she had like 4 issues, and I loved the new world, you know? But they all made it through. But what I didn't realize was like Silk getting her comic, which I didn't know who the fuck she is, and Spider 2099 coming back.
And you got the Web Warriors, which looks like a bunch of different alternate universe type Spider-Man.
Yeah, looking at the picture, we have India Spider-Man. I don't know his actual name. Spider-Ham, Spider-Gwen. That looks like Jessica Drew. No, not Jessica Drew. Jessica something. Spider-Woman, who has the original costume that the Venom costume is based off of.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Spider-Man Britain. I don't know his actual name. He showed up in the Web Warriors Spider Dimension thing. And I think that's Spider-Man Noir in the bottom right.
Yeah, it's definitely Noir.
Mm-hmm. And I think you said it the best. It looks like Shattered Dimensions of the comic.
Yes, which awesome to me because I love that game.
Yeah, I honestly hope this spawns another one. Personally. I think that would be awesome.
The other interesting thing, the new Daredevil looks like he has a buddy who looks like Gambit.
Yeah, it looks like Gambit.
He's got the mask thing with the hair and the bow staff. I mean, it might be Gambit.
And it's called The Devil's Apprentice is the subtag, so... he's also back in black. So that's interesting.
Oh, let's go back to Spider-Man. Speaking of Spider-Man, Peter Parker. What's going on with Peter Parker, Bill? Yeah, I gotta explain this to me.
Okay, so in the Superior Spider-Man, which was a really dumb comic where Otto Octavius took over Peter Parker's brain, he made Parker Industries, and now for the Amazing Spider-Man, Peter Parker is basically being, quote-unquote, the new Iron Man. He's traveling the globe, and he has, like, it looks like a wristwatch that puts the costume on him, and his new costume, instead of white, is, like, neon green. And, look, I don't care that Alex Ross made the cover, but the cover looks like shit. All right? Personally, it looks terrible. And he's supposed to be this globe-trotting hero now who goes to, like, not only New York, but Shanghai and everywhere in between. I don't like it.
No, he's supposed to be your friendly... I guess right here it says your friendly neighborhood just got bigger.
Yeah, but, like... let me get into the Spider-Man #1 first. Because I don't want to stomp on the heels of this. Spider-Man #1 in New York, Miles Morales is going to be Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I like that idea. I love that idea. Miles Morales, great character. I want to see what he'll do in a world where Peter Parker isn't dead. You know? Because one of the great things about Miles Morales was he deals with this coping thing of, I'm Spider-Man now. I have all the powers Peter Parker has, but Peter Parker's dead. So not only am I upholding his, his Spider-Man, but I'm also being my Spider-Man, which was a great plot. And I like that he survives Secret Wars and that he's here and he's a great character. And they said that, this is for every, colored kid out there who doesn't have a superhero that they can latch on to. They said that in a press conference. And I think that's great. But my problem with that comment is Peter Parker will eventually go back to New York. Everything will kind of get reset to where it was. So what is that going to say to people when, you say, this is for every colored kid out there, and, maybe a few months down the line when Amazing Spider-Man really sucks ass, they put him back in New York and Miles Morales is out of a job. And that's the thing. The idea of Peter Parker going to many places he's basically Iron Man. I don't know, did I say that already?
No.
The idea sounds like Iron Man, and that's not a good fit for Peter Parker. The one thing that I always love about Amazing Spider-Man and Peter Parker is that he's dealing with everyday life on top of dealing with everything else. And that he doesn't really know how to, handle all the stress all at the same time. And you give him $1 billion and the ability to go anywhere and do everything, that kind of removes one of his core features. I don't know. If I'm the only one who feels that way, I'll shut the hell up right now.
I mean, I think Spider-Man's character needed to evolve and become something more than just, oh, I gotta avenge, Uncle Ben by fighting criminals, etc., etc., and this nerdy guy dealing with everyday life, and I think he needed to evolve. I just don't think this is the right direction.
No, and I've shown you my books over there. It's the Ezekiel runs. That's before the 2000s Clone War, the Clone Saga, which deals with Ezekiel, the guy who has Spider-Man's powers, is a great run of Peter Parker evolving with the idea of MJ and him have split up, almost divorced, and he's trying to get her back, as well as becoming a chemistry high school teacher and trying to deal with all this other stuff. And it's a great way of him dealing with everything and his morals being questioned about working for the mob for the right causes. And that's a good way to evolve the character while keeping him grounded. But I just don't like the idea of him being this Iron Man-esque character who pushes a button and his suit's on, because that reminds me of Spider-Man Ultimate, that shitty TV show. I don't know. I'm worried about that. I'm excited for Miles Morales. That's simple. Miles Morales will do great. I would want to see where they take his character. Don't fuck him up. Put Peter Parker somewhere else.
So beyond that, we're getting a lot of shakeups with, new Avengers lineups, which
There's
whatever.
14 Avengers, so we're not even gonna fucking go into that.
Yeah. X-Men, 2 X-Men teams apparently. Uncanny, which is all the villains.
Yeah.
And all new X-Men, 3, because there's all new X-Men, which is the classic X-Men with
Plus
some
X-23.
changes. Plus X-23.
And Beast isn't.
And no Jean Grey, from
Yeah.
what I can see.
And Beast isn't blue.
No, it looks like they're early versions of themselves.
But plus X-23, which X-23
Plus
is,
X-23.
Plus X-23 is now the new Wolverine, and she's in the old Wolverine costume, and it looks fucking terrible, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It looks bad, okay? I'm just going to throw it out there. It looks really bad.
Then you have Extraordinary X-Men, which from what I can tell is Storm,
Colossus?
Jean Grey, Colossus, yeah.
Either that or that's Jean Grey's kid.
Maybe Nightcrawler, Old Man Logan, someone else I don't recognize, and is that Iceman?
Yeah.
Who's also in the other? So there are 2 Icemen now because of this universe thing.
It looks like second evolved Iceman because he has the Frohawk ice.
So this is what gets me, is that now you got all these universes combined and stuff, like you were saying, but there's doubles now, basically. Lots of doubles.
I don't know.
Just
I have
because.
no idea. Because at the same time, they're combining universes, but Spider-Man 2099 still exists. Gwen Stacy still has her own universe. You have 2 Icemen, two Beasts, because in what one is it? This one. It's loading. Uncanny Inhumans. It has second evolved Beast, where he's blue. So I don't know really. Because Old Man Logan's here, but real Logan 616 is dead. You have old Hawkeye, but new Hawkeye in an Avengers one. I don't know. I really don't. So, Venom is now on Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm jumping all over the place. Whatever you want to talk about, just holler in.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I
Oh,
like the new lineup. Honestly, I don't like the idea that Rocket is in charge because that seems like they're cashing in too hard on
the movie.
the movie. Which, speaking of which, Star-Lord has his own comic now.
Yeah. Speaking of cashing in on the movie. Um,
Can I say real quick, out of my own little corner of love, I love the new Captain Marvel outfit to death. Holy shit, it's badass, and I hope the movie takes from it. Oh, I fucking love it. Looks like combat armor. So cool.
where's that?
It's underneath Contest of Champions and above Doctor Strange.
Yes.
It's a very sleek jumpsuit looking like flight suit armor. She has the sash still. She has a short haircut. I love Captain Marvel and like the
It
corner.
kind of looks like the Captain America outfit from the Winter Soldier.
Yes, except with the red on. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it to death. I love Captain Marvel to death.
Speaking of Contest of Champions and the Hulk,
Yeah, that's
So-
you don't want to talk about Contest of Champion or Hulk?
I want to talk about the Hulk. Period.
Okay.
So obviously, one version of the Hulk is now apparently somewhat similar to the Collector.
This is I believe it's Ultimate Hulk
Okay, he's got a
because
big white beard.
because that's what Big White Beard Hulk had in Ultimate.
Looks like Odin.
Yeah. You're right. You're right on the dot that he looks like the Collector, and he's putting people to fight to the death.
I don't know. And then we also have apparently a new Hulk.
Wait, hold on, hold on. In the Contest of Champions, it looks like it's that Venom isn't Eddie Brock Venom.
No, you're right.
It looks like it's not Eddie Brock, and it's not
Matt Gargan.
Yeah, it looks like Targan is, and I think right now who has it is doesn't Flash Thompson still have the Venom suit right now?
I'm not sure.
I don't know who, but that looks like Targan, and Targan doesn't have it anymore. Last person who had it was Agent Venom, was Flash Thompson. I think he went to the Venom planet with the Guardians of the Galaxy. So him being in Guardians of the Galaxy makes sense. I'm sorry, I just noticed this. So go on to your Hulk rant.
Well, apparently, the Totally Awesome Hulk #1. First of all, a really bad title.
Yeah.
Second of all, they're not identifying who is going to be the Hulk yet.
Here's something I heard. You notice how his face is blocked out?
And so is his hand.
So is his hand. Now, there is a character recently who lost his hand in the comic universe. Thor lost the power to pick up Mjolnir and lost his left arm to the ice giants.
Huh.
And started calling himself Odin's son. Thor is now Jane Foster, who's dying of cancer, but she's worthy enough to pick up the hammer, which is why I'm really excited to see where that's going, because it's like the flesh may be weak, but the thunder is strong. This is a great picture. I'm excited for that. But for them to block out the left hand like that makes me wonder, but I don't think Odin's son would call himself the Totally Awesome Hulk.
Yeah. But that would be interesting. Very interesting if the Hulk was indeed Thor. So, I don't know. That'd just be it. I've talked before about I'm not really into the Marvel comic books in general just because I think they're all over the place and there's never been really a good direction. It's just kind of what crazy shit can we do next? And I think this whole series is kind of an example of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy that they're finally just saying, okay, we're doing this. This is the direction we're going. But there's still, like,
All
with
over
all
the
these
place.
duplicate characters and everything, it's like, what? This is, I can imagine for someone who's not into comic books that wants to get into them, starting with the new stuff is, like, the worst thing you could possibly do.
I think you have to pick and choose.
Yeah,
You
but it's
know?
like, you're not going to have any idea what's going on.
Since 2099 Spider-Man is going to be a fresh reboot, I think that's a safe one to start with. I'm being picky because I'm a Spider-Man fan, but like Spider-Gwen, since it's still new, that will be okay. And pretty self-contained. I would stay away from Web Warriors. Deadpool, his last official comics ended with him dying. So if you want zany and wacky and off the walls and like a little bit more slapstick. That one's pretty good to go with. The Mighty Thor, because we literally just found out that it's Jane Foster, so that would be a good one. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. would probably be still pretty good. Captain Marvel, Spider-Gwen. I don't know if I said that, but that's about it. Those are the only ones that interest me. The rest is like fucking bizarre. Oh, and here's another one we didn't cover: the Ultimates. I don't know who's on. I think that's Thunderbolt, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Stars and Stripes, because she looks like Captain America. But the interesting thing is Galactus is holding them.
Oh, that is very interesting. I didn't notice
And
that.
Galactus might be a good guy? Question mark now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well then,
Well, that's news.
that's news you can use.
Yeah, buddy. Everybody
On
have
the
a
top shelf.
safe holiday for those of us in America, and those in Canada. I hope you had a great Canada Day. And what other holidays that we're missing because we're ignorant Americans? Yeah. You got anything? Any last words before I hang up, LB?
Toodaloo!